Luke, good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you? Alrighty. Mark Doc, good morning. Is it getting warmer in Florida? Not really. Not really. I'm looking forward to when it is warm again in Florida. I don't like the cold weather. It's rough on my joints, man. My body got used to the warm weather down here. You know what's funny, Luke, is I get a deep tissue massage every week. I'm a big deep tissue massage advocate. I've done it pretty much my entire adult life. And it's very beneficial. I'm really big into that. So we talked about having a recovery day, and that's what I thought we were going to film. You know, and they were like, oh, we got a guy, you know, because I have a guy also. But I was like, yeah, man, get your guy, you know, bring him in. So I really thought he was going to get a massage session. And I would talk about what was going on and whatnot a little bit here and some of my experiences. And then they started, and I was kind of like, what in the hell is going on? And I realized this was not a massage video. No one said anything to me. They let me just talk like a fool. Now, I will tell you, I do a lot of stretching and mobility work. So where Mr. Luke, you could see his tight ass, he was stiff on that table. And when he was done, the guy was nice enough to do me as well. He was like, you want to get on the table? I said, sure. It's been years and years since I've had somebody stretch me like that. And honestly, I felt great after. Felt outstanding. It felt really good the next day. So I was glad to get the treatment. It was something different than what I'm used to. But I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. Definitely was beneficial. What up, guys? What up, what up, what up? Nathan, what up? Contra, Edmund, what up, everybody? Good morning. Raphael. Have you ever done cupping? Yeah, plenty of times. Listen, I've done pretty much everything at this point, man. I've tried so many. I've just beaten myself up so bad. I've tried a lot. I've tried all sorts of different massage techniques. Your basic massage, the deep tissue massage, the sports massage, Swedish massage, hot stone massage. I've done muscle activation technique, active release treatment, all sorts of chiropractic techniques, dry needling, Groston's technique, cupping. Now, overall, if you've got a really good massage practitioner that understands what we do in the gym and is certified in active release treatment, which is what a lot of very good chiropractors get certified in, extremely beneficial to get you moving the right way again. That's my favorite of them all. Now, if I had somebody that would dry needle me all the time, great, fantastic. But that's trickier. Let's see. Ease up in the working out. You don't have a neck. Oh, man. I do have an abnormally big neck, I guess. But thank you, Grimrat. I'll take that as a compliment. Joker, what's going on? I appreciate that, Grimrat. If I could get these damn shoulders to respond again. Braun Rogers is here. What's up, my man? Abel Hernandez is here. Connecticut in the building. Holla, holla. So dry needling, you have to go typically to a chiropractor for, Luke. So dry needling is fascinating. Truly fascinating. So your spine if you look at the spinal cord, right, and each vertebrae, so you start at the ones up in your neck, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you get into your thoracic region, then you get down into the lower lumbar region, you know, where you hear people, the most common injuries are the L4, L5 down there, and in that lower lumbar region. Well, as you go all the way up your spine, these spines affect all the nerves in your body, which are responsible for the way all your muscles are feeling and activating, right? So, for instance, in a case like mine, where my posterior delts were completely shut down, I got some dry needling done where they take what looks like a very long acupuncture needle, right? And they put it deep into the area, right? So they're gonna touch those actual nerves there. In, for instance, I believe C4 controls the posterior delt, so they put one needle there and the other one into the actual muscle of the delt, and then they take electrodes like what you see on a TENS unit, on a stim unit, and they touch each of the needles to send the current back and forth. So you're actually pressing up in the nerve in your neck, but it's making the muscle fire in your arm without you controlling it. It's very, very interesting stuff. And sending that current back and forth. So a lot of acupuncturists aren't really into dry needling, from what I understand, but it can be very, very beneficial for muscles that aren't activating the right way, nerve issues. Bonsai Runner says, hope none of your friends are fire victims in Cali. I hope not. Also, it's a travesty what's going on out there. Bolshoi Kush says, Carrie Underwood will perform at inauguration. What do you think about that, Bolshoi? You think that's a good choice? It is fascinating stuff, Luke. You think Kid Rock will perform Ba with the Ba on inauguration? I think he should. I think he should. Do you feel sorry for Paris Hilton losing her $50 million house in California? Where's this poor baby will go to sleep? Man, I don't know. I don't know if there's any of that Hilton money left. I haven't been on top of which celebrities are struggling out there and whatnot. I just know the fires are terrible. President Biden was kind enough to give the victims a $770 check. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. That'll cover all the damages. Germany in the house. What up, Andres? So we got Carrie Underwood. Melanie, what's up? Good morning. What's Carrie Underwood going to perform? I'm trying to think. She sings, I dug my keys into the side of his pretty little souped-up four-wheel drive. That's all I know that she sings. Is that what we're getting at the inauguration? Fill me in. I'm not a country guy. So Tuesday, chest day, I had a very good workout. I was solo. Probably that football song that she's got. I don't think I know it. I'm down for it though. I wonder how many trucks got keyed because of that song. Probably a lot. Bonsai Runner. I could see that inspiring a lot of angry drunk women to go out there and key some cars. Jack is here, hanging out. Jackie boy. Marissa's off today. We're gonna go take Jack and Reese to get groomed. Give him some love, get him smelling good. Especially Jack, he can get a little stinky. Jackie boy. I filmed my top sets of my workout today. I'm gonna post it after this. I don't typically do stuff like that, but I figured I'd give you guys a little peek on what I got going on. Marissa was kind enough to get all that stuff for me. Oh, that song. I didn't even realize that was her, Melanie. How silly of me. Okay. Makes sense. That's a good inauguration song, right? When I was young, you had the country guy. I'm trying to think of his name. Are you ready for some football? With the cowboy hat. Sketty 999, good morning. Let's do it. So good chest workout today. Threw in a little biceps at the end. Tomorrow we're gonna get that ab video in for you guys. I think we should get him on a scale, see how much he's weighing. I'm dragging today though, I'll admit it guys, I'm tired today. Didn't have good sleep last night. Fell asleep kind of early, but I woke up a lot. Annoying. I had to keep on waking up to pee. And I was dragging. I got in a good zone when I was training. But once my workout was done, I feel like I went back into dragging again. That's part of the reason why I'm late. I took my time walking the dogs before I could get ready to do this. But I'm still gonna do it. Hank Williams, that's who I was thinking. Yes, Hank Williams. Thank you, Melanie. Melanie, you're on point today. On point. I'm off, but you're on. Luke says, just order the Bob Hot. I'm probably going to get OCD on that thing. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I love mine. Yes, I got my Halo Elite. Thank God. Popped 5 of those bad boys yesterday. Felt good to have it back. Felt good, man. I was locked in. You're with it with the country stuff, okay. Are you a country bumpkin, Melanie? A country bumpkin? Weasel, what are you doing? The weasel sniffing around in here. She can't be trusted. Hey. What are you doing? Get out of there. Very happy to have Halo Elite back. Whew. Very happy. Noticeable difference without it, man. I was talking about it with Kristen Graham. She was like, man, I'm really struggling without it. I said, you and me both. She was like, I didn't think that it was going to make as much of a difference. And I said, you and me both. It's amazing that a plant product could be that good. Country Southern Belle. Scatman, what up? Oh, stocking up on that Halo, Luke. That's it, man. That's it. Yeah, I need to get that IGF back in there. I'm missing the IGF, too. Bolshoi says White Stripes, Icky Thump, or Red Hot Chili Peppers, Snow. Hey-o. I think I'm going Red Hot Chili Peppers on this one. I'm trying to think of... White Stripes have a couple songs that I like. Overall, I've always liked the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm trying to think of that one White Stripes song that I like a lot. Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back. That one's good. It's got that good bass line. That's probably their best song. Sorry if I've offended any White Stripe fans. Just got my Halo Weight tube and taking it since 2022. The difference makes it pretty insane. It really does. And I'm talking elite lifters. Kristen Graham is an elite lifter. She's a machine. Same thing with Sam Rice, Quads Like Mom, champion power lifter that swear by this stuff. So good stuff. When you train powerlifting, did you do 3-hour sessions, gripping and ripping, or were your workouts the same? My workouts were much different back then. So, first of all, I always squatted on Saturdays. Saturday was squat day. We had a platform in the gym. I'd come in, there was a lot of warm-up stuff that went into it, and there was a group of guys. So we took time warming up. You do the bar, then 135. Sometimes I'd take 135 again, then 225, then 315. A lot of warming up sets before you get to those top sets. Then once you get to those top sets, long breaks in between. Same thing on those bench days, man. You're on the bench press for a long time. A lot of ancillary work, the long workouts, a lot of sitting around. Much, much different. Much different than the way I train now, for sure. Advice for sleep apnea. Well, I mean, first things first, make sure you do not ignore that. Go and get tested because you may need a CPAP. You may need a CPAP. And just because you're heavy doesn't mean you're going to have sleep apnea, and vice versa, because I'll tell you, when I was in prison, I couldn't believe how many people have sleep apnea. And a lot of the guys are smaller guys. So a lot of times they tell you when you're heavy, lose weight. That's a great cure for the sleep apnea, but I've seen smaller guys with it also. Now, that being said, these guys would explain to me that the CPAP was life-changing. So go and do a sleep study and get tested, and do not ignore that, because you literally can die from sleep apnea. It's not to be taken lightly. Wow, Al Augusti, I forgot about him. Damn, I'm going old school Mike Ashley though. Bolshoi. I forgot about Al Augusti. Scatman says, PJ, your music catalog is pretty wide. It's pretty weird, yes, thank you. Thank you. Maybe I should start doing mashups. Have you heard the Navy warships that play that song with their air horns? No, I haven't. I would like to, though. Listen, Bolshoi he's automatic with this stuff. It's hard to keep up with him. I do my best. Avenged Sevenfold, who I love, I Won't See You Tonight, or Stained intro. You're not going to get me to pick many people over Avenged Sevenfold. I love Avenged Sevenfold. Fourth Chapter, such a good song. Such a good song. A lot of good songs over the years. Nathan High says, there's this kid I see at the gym who's usually just sitting down, but occasionally I'll see him yank like 700 pounds on the deadlift. Yeah, man, listen, I competed with a guy when I was coming up, this guy, Chuck Fabrizio. Drug-free, lifetime drug-free, just a solid lifter, but a gifted deadlifter. Dude could fucking deadlift, excuse my language. In competition, he did 672 pounds at nearly 50 years old in a 198-pound weight class. That is like stupidly strong. Stupidly strong. Dude was a crazy, crazy good deadlifter. Lifetime drug-free. And it was, a lot of sitting around. Yep. Bolshoi Kush, Tommy Two-Tone, Jenny, or Rick Springfield, Jesse's girl. Man, I think I gotta go with Jesse's Girl, mostly for, do you remember that scene? Bolshoi, do you remember the scene in Boogie Nights when they go to get the drugs from the guy? They go to rob the drug dealer, and it's the weirdest scene. He's like, there's the one guy is lighting off the firecrackers, the weird dude, and he's got Jesse's Girl on, he's in the robe, and he's singing it. That scene is so funny and awesome. I hope that there's other people that know the scene that I'm talking about. Do I think a neck injury could cause TMJ, and have you ever dealt with TMJ problems? Personally have not, but yes, definitely could. everything's all tied together, and there could be a nerve that's compressed because of the neck injury. Listen, neck injuries can cause all sorts of problems with your hands. I had a neck injury that was making my fingers go numb, where I couldn't move my hands the right way. So yes, it could cause TMJ and issues up here in your jaw. Warren G, Regulator! Or Blackstreet, No Diggity, No Doubt. Mm-hmm. Play on, player. Man, such different songs. Regulator, when I was a kid, that was like the song. That was the song, man. Regulator, if you're a kid in the 90s, when Regulator came out, that was a freaking song. Holy crap. So I think overall, like as far as iconic tunes, you gotta go Regulator. Plus you had Nate Dogg in Regulator. I love Nate Dogg. Just like I thought, it was in the same spot, in need of some desperate help. But Nate Dogg and the G-Child were in need of something else. K. Graham is here. No Diggity is a very good song though, but I gotta go Regulator. Hoobastank or Three Doors Down. Hoobastank had one really good song, but Three Doors Down had a collection of very good songs. I gotta go Three Doors Down. Your opinion on compression socks during air flight. So I've traveled international a bunch of times, never had issues. Never had issues. The first time I went, people were like, oh, you didn't get compression socks? Oh my God, you didn't get compression socks? And I was all nervous. Singerman and I, back in the day, I had no issues, and after that I was like, I guess I don't need them. Dick Buttkiss or Lawrence Taylor? Oh, listen, Dick Buttkiss, for his generation, by far the biggest badass. Same thing with Lawrence Taylor. To me, Lawrence Taylor changed the game forever. Also, he did it high on crack cocaine most of the time, so I gotta go LT. I have an autographed Lawrence Taylor helmet. So happy to see K. Graham in here. Let's see. Any ideas to create dating show with single people in fitness or bodybuilding industry? Sister Nino and Jason are my first picks. First of all, I don't know who it would be harder to pair up with a girl between Sister Nino and Jason. It would be terribly hard. Your opinion on the fact that ex-Mr. Olympias must judge contest Mr. Olympia. They did in 2004. Why contest is judged by fat belly dudes in old age? You know what's really weird? Bolshoi Kush, one of the most powerful and important judges in all of it is an older woman. She's nice, don't get me wrong, but can you imagine going through all that shit and being judged by an old lady? And she's a good-looking old lady. And listen, I'm not dissing her. It's just kind of weird. You would think that would be the case. But hey, Oz or Sons of Anarchy? I never really got into Oz. That actor, though, from Oz, stars in From, which if you guys haven't watched From is awesome. And I never got that into Sons of Anarchy either. I know that people loved Sons of Anarchy. Back when I was married to Celeste, when we would go to autograph signings at these big events, there would always be Sons of Anarchy guys there, and they would have long lines. Don't they call me Mr. International? No, they call me Mr. Worldwide. What up, Tater Tot? Parson is on me. Muscle Mountain Man, I like it, thank you. What are your thoughts on Party City closing? I'm working there now. Only got 4 days left. Man, a lot of, thank you for bringing that up, Brian B. Rogers. there are a lot of big chains that are closing down for good. GameStop, I saw. It's crazy. It's sad. You know what? We're in a much different world, man. Amazon changed everything. It's a much different world. I'm glad. I think people in my age group, we were like the last to grow up a certain way in the 90s. If you were a teenager in the 90s, the world has changed so much the last 25 years. And, of course, it's evolution. In some ways, it's for the better, but I wouldn't have traded growing up where I grew up for nothing. How do you feel about it, Brian Rogers? What's your plan after this when these 4 days are done? Thoughts on reports of Genova looting homes in LA for coins? I don't think Jason would have the balls to go into the fire, to be honest with you. Now, he's very crafty. He's good at getting people to do shit for him, so he may have convinced some other people to go in there and get the coins. I was the same with The Wire. It took me 2 attempts to finish the series. I prefer The Shield over The Wild. Yeah, listen. That's a good point, Scatman. Sometimes I judge things and I wind up being totally wrong. The most perfect example is Game of Thrones, right? I was not gonna watch Game of Thrones. I was like, I'm not watching some bullshit, magic-y, dragon-ass bullshit. No. And then time would go by, and people were like, I can't believe you don't watch Game of Thrones. I can't believe you don't watch Game of Thrones. I can't believe you don't watch Game of Thrones. Then, the guys that worked for me, all of the guys that worked for me were like, Game of Thrones is the greatest show of all time. The greatest show of all time. So finally I was like, listen, I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones. I watched all the seasons, right, after they were done, while waiting for the last season, right? So I get through all this shit, and I'm like, this is the greatest show of all time. And I'm like, oh man, when is the season gonna start? And they were like, you don't even understand. We had to go through this every year. You just had the pleasure of getting to this late and cruising through these seasons like this. So I wound up watching it a second time because Marissa had never watched Game of Thrones, and then I turned into one of those people. I was like, you mean to tell me you've never watched Game of Thrones? We have to watch it. We have to watch it. And then I watched it a second time while waiting for the final season. Okay. So sadly, on the subject of that, Game of Thrones had the most disappointing ending in any show that I've ever watched in my entire life. By far the most disappointing, shitty-ass, terrible ending. It was like they fucking gave up, excuse my language. When that episode ended, I'll never forget this. I very quietly, Marissa will confirm this. I very quietly went and took out a cigar. I went into the backyard. I lit a cigar. I sat in complete silence as I smoked the cigar, and then I quietly walked around my neighborhood, which is something that I never used to do, just staring at the sky, pondering life, and thinking to myself, like, how did I get here? What world is this that we live in? And I didn't speak to anyone for over 24 hours. I wouldn't turn my phone on. That's how much it affected me. Now that being said, the only show that compares to Game of Thrones, which might actually be better than Game of Thrones. And I've talked about this with a lot of people. And I've watched it all the way through like 3 times. And the ending is way more fulfilling. But Breaking Bad, the last episode of Breaking Bad, you're like, yes, that's the way to end it. And you know, a lot of people pick Breaking Bad over Game of Thrones. Very different. I wouldn't have thought it until probably the 3rd time I went through it, which was after everything with Game of Thrones twice. I watched Breaking Bad a 3rd time all the way through, and I was like, damn, I think that's the best show of all time, man. I think that's the most badass best show of all time. K. Graham said that Game of Thrones left the world with blue balls. It did. Tater Todd says, Kristen and I used to cuddle up and watch Game of Thrones every week. We were so sad when it ended. Yeah, it was terribly sad. What they did to Jon Snow was so disgraceful. Dom, good morning. Dustin, what up? AK. Ice cream at Athletic Factor. Uh-oh. I guess I gotta come through, AK. Let's see. Parsa Nizami. What's your mind about Derek Lunsford? Did he deserve 3rd place? So I was not there. Let me get into this for a second. Vikings Valhalla was awesome. I loved Vikings Valhalla. If you guys haven't watched that one, Kristen Graham recommendation right now. Vikings Valhalla was outstanding. Okay, so Derek Lunsford. Here's the thing with bodybuilding, guys. Bodybuilding in real life is so much different than it is in pictures and videos. It's so much different when you see the guys up close. When you see them from where the judges are, it's so crazy. I have been at bodybuilding shows where, you know, because of whatever relationships I've had with the judges, sponsorships, whatever, they've let me sit at the judges' table or directly behind the judges' table. And you would be amazed how different things look from if you're sitting, you know, 100 feet back. I've had good seats where I'm looking like, wait a minute, why are they placing this guy this year there? Then you go up to the judges' table and you see all this different stuff that can't be seen. So, that being said, I thought that Samson was the clear winner. I did think that Samson was the clear winner. And I thought that Hadi and Derek were very close. They have different looks. Hadi beat him in some poses. Derek beat him in other poses. And I wasn't mad at the judging at all. In fact, I'm going to say something really crazy right now. I thought that Martin was very, very close to Derek and beat him in some poses, and I wouldn't have been mad if they had Martin 3rd. I did see El Camino. Great movie. Great little, whatever you want to call it. With Pinkman. What a sad ending for the people that. If you never saw El Camino, I don't really want to get into it. But man, intense. Thank you, AK. Do I have any TRT hookups in Canada? So, I don't know if I don't know how it works with Canada. I mean, I have people here. But Canada has crazy rules, man. I don't know. You guys got crazy rules. It's hard to get regular supplements up there. Dustin Lee, did everyone know Ronnie was going to win every year? Seems like today it's year to year. There are 3 or 4 guys that could take it. I guess you could say the same about every show, though. It's sort of like the NFL. There's a lot of parity in the NFL, we don't really have dynasties anymore. You know, you have teams that are consistently good, but it's not like when you had the New England Patriots just dominating people. You know, you had the 80s when the 49ers were dominating everyone. The 90s, the Cowboys were dominating everyone. Now, different teams are good all over the place. Bodybuilding is very similar. The evolution of the sport has created a lot more parity. So, I think you can kind of figure out who's going to be in the mix. But there really isn't anybody running away with it, although it could be the Samson era now, guys. So when Ronnie was competing, there were guys that were closer, but he was just on such a different level. He was on such a different level. I feel truly honored to be able to see him in real life when he was in his prime, because there's to this day, there's been no one like that ever. And he had battles with some of the greatest bodybuilders of all time that would have been Mr. Olympia. Kevin Lebroni definitely would have been Mr. Olympia. Flex Wheeler definitely would have been Mr. Olympia if Ronnie wasn't there when they were in his prime. And I give so much respect to Jay Cutler, because he was the guy that leveled up to take the throne. He really did. He leveled up, man. He consistently got better and better. I think they brought the best out of each other. And, you know, look, when Phil Heath was Mr. Olympia, it was the same thing, guys. A lot of people don't like Phil Heath for whatever reason. They think he's arrogant, whatever. You know, there were years with Kai pushing him, but Phil was just on that dominating level like that. Haven't seen Game of Thrones, but the Film Society 1999 and Jacob's Ladder 1990 did that to me. Jacob's Ladder is a good one. The movie Valhalla is pretty good too. I don't know if I've seen that. I have met Dr. Sean, Jewish gay gynecologist that you interviewed on the show. Wow, old school Bolshoi. Where did you meet him? Tater Tot, he's essentially the best bodybuilder in the world now. On that subject. Bolshoi, Kush, Imagine Dragons, Bad Liar, or Kaiser Chiefs, Ruby. I'm going with Ruby. Nathan High. Aaron Paul's debut was being the main character in Korn's music video for the song Thoughtless. Okay. Are you aware of TRT clinics in Chicago? And would they be cool helping someone with 500 tests? What do you mean? Like your when you've gotten your blood work done, your total test, nanograms a deciliter is 500? Is that what you're saying? If that is the case, I would contact Vivo Health. VIVO Health. They're telehealth. They go all over the country. Jump on the phone with them, some dude. Aaron Paul is Jesse Pinkman. So you're saying that the actor who played Pinkman, his debut of being an actor was in a Korn video. Huh. That's interesting factoid there, Nathan. That's like some Jeopardy, some pop culture Jeopardy action right there. Tater Tot, Logan Paul. Ugh. Listen, you gotta go with Pinkman over either of the other Pauls. Huh. I'll have to go on YouTube after and pull the video up and see. How old is he in the video? Woo. 39:55. Let's keep it going. Give me questions so I can stay on this thing, guys. I'm dragging a little bit today. Do I have any remedies for back pain from heavy lifting? I like to foam roll. Stretch your hamstrings. Keep your hamstrings and glutes stretched out. A lot of times lower back pain is really due to very tight hamstrings and glutes. So people are like, my back is hurting, so they'll focus on the back, stretching, massage, and whatnot. But by loosening up those hamstrings, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. So that's part of the reason why when I go to the gym in the morning, I have a routine that consists of mobility work that I do for my shoulders, mobility work that I do on the floor for my hips. I foam roll. I get the blood going with the foam roller, and then I stretch my hamstrings out thoroughly. There's a lot that I do. So if your pain is lower back, thoracic lumbar, then I would advise you to start stretching those hammies out. If the pain is higher up in the back, it could be related to shoulder, scapula issues. Interesting how the drone story has gone away. You're talking about the drone that was going around here in the USA, or Jason Genova's drone? Valhalla is basically a Viking slave that's being used as a death duel fighter in England. They end up in the US with the Indians. Not a lot of dialogue. Okay. I don't always enjoy the movies that don't have dialogue. I get it. There was a movie called Azrael that came out last year. It's a horror movie, and there's no dialogue, and it got such great reviews and responses. And the first time I watched it, I was like, meh. I ended up falling asleep at the end. The second time I watched it, I was more alert, and I definitely appreciated the acting. But still, without the dialogue. Oh, he was a wee lad. Is he recognizable, Nathan? I'm curious now. I want to go look at that after. Till Tuesday, Voices Carry or The Cure. Boys Don't Cry. You know, I was never a big fan of The Cure. Bolshoi, not for me. Really tough combo right there, because they're really, two bands that I'm not interested in. Can I go with neither? Dustin Lee says neither. There you go. Nathan says, I think the drone story was to distract and confuse in preparation for the fires. That would fall in line, wouldn't it? Dark movie like next Friday. Isn't it interesting how things like that fall off? New World Muscle is here. Good morning, Keith. What up, buddy? Dr. Dre, What the Difference, or Busta Rhymes, Turn It Up, Fire Up. Ooh, good songs. I prefer early Dre, Chronic album Dre, versus, later in life hanging out with Eminem Dre. Still got some good songs. What the Difference is a good song. For this particular choice, I'm going with Bus and Bus. For the new electronic city they're making for the Olympics. Speaking of drones, remember when Jason kept hounding you to buy him a drone? Yeah, that's why when he said, what do you think is going on with the drones, I wasn't sure which one we were talking about. There was a lot of drone action at Blackstone Labs for a while. As we proceed to give you what you need. My buddy that I went to high school with, he had me laughing so hard yesterday. So when we were in high school, we went to see the Puff Daddy and the Family tour. It was awesome. High school kids, my buddy's dad was a big wig at Pepsi, got us backstage passes. It was so cool. Everybody was there. Mace was there. Usher was there. It was a really, really good concert. Busta Rhymes was there. So anyway, we were backstage, so we got to meet Diddy. I forgot about this. This is going back to like 98, 97. So my buddy goes, hey, did you see the new leaked photos of Diddy with those young boys? And I was like, no. And he sent me the picture that we took backstage. I'm not in the picture. I think I might have even been taking the picture of my high school friends. Bunch of dorky, nerdy little white boys. One of them was gay, came out of the closet later in life. So he was in the right spot. And Diddy in the middle, just looking like a savage. I was laughing so hard. I forgot all about that. I seen Nosferatu 1922. It was surprisingly good. Have you ever? So I've watched that one because it's just such an iconic movie. And yes, it was surprisingly good. I was really pleased with what they did with the modern version of Nosferatu. Do I like cheeseburgers? I love cheeseburgers. Love cheeseburgers. Back when I was competing, that was my go-to cheat meal. Cheeseburger. I've kind of switched it up to pizza nowadays. Bolshoi, Running Man with Arnold. Ooh, that was a good one. Or Blade Runner. Very good one also. Honestly, the original Blade Runner is a better movie, but I gotta go Running Man with Arnold. That's a wacky one. PJ could have been the singer for The Cure if he used his pet voice. You're right. I could get a little weird and emo. Have you seen the movie The Farm? It's a depraved movie aimed to protest animal cruelty. I don't think I've seen it. Tell me more about it, Nathan. Jada, or Amory, one thing. Jadakiss, man, one of the greatest to ever do it. I love that old school Jadakiss and Styles P. The Locks back in the day. That 90s music. Any ideas to create amateur arm wrestling tournament among retired bodybuilders? They would all get injured so fast, Bolshoi. I'd probably be good for one epic match, and then I would need surgery. If you had a muscle weakness, could you work it out every day if you're going light in weight? Be more specific with your question. So are you asking me if you wanted to focus on a muscle every single day with light weight, could you develop strength in that area? So yes and no. So listen, you walk every day. You walk every day. There are people that do cardio every day. So they're stimulating all those muscles with body weight resistance, calves, hamstrings, quadriceps, glutes. The core is involved, right? As you walk, it's body weight resistance. And the body adapts to that and you get better and better at it. So let's say you were focusing on your biceps and you took a 1 pound dumbbell that you curled, for 15 straight minutes, I don't know, every day. You would develop conditioning to it. Now, the thing is, although you would develop that conditioning to it, it's not ideal for hypertrophy, which means you wouldn't see the volume or size of the muscle change much. The No Way Out tour, baby. Good old days. Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper, or Mama's and Papa's California Dreamin'. I'm going with Blue Oyster Cult. Seasons don't fear the reaper, not to the women in the summer rain. It'll be a lot better. Come on, baby, don't feel the reaper. Baby, take my hand. 97, 98, Jason already had 3 or 4 serious car accidents by then. PJ was at a Diddy freak off. Listen, I would have been all up in it. I'd have been like, take that. Give me the cowbell. Shinedown, 45, good song. Or Skid Row, 18 in Life. Wow, very different generations there. Listen, Shinedown Singer's got such a good voice, doesn't he? Got a great rock and roll voice. I'm going with Shinedown. I really enjoy his cover of Leonard Skinner's Simple Man. Great, great cover. Do you think that encounter with Diddy is why you have never dealt with constipation? Possibly. Possibly. But this is also assuming that Diddy was packing back there to loosen me up like that. For all we know, he got a 2-inch killer, which led him down this path of destruction. It's a film. All right, so we're talking about this movie, Nathan. The farm kidnaps humans, keeps them in cages, and treats them like farm animals. Wow. I could see that being very disturbing. Thank God we're at the top of the food chain. Can you imagine if the cows and horses were doing that to us? Fortunately for us, they're all grass eaters. Why none of the directors make a horror movie about crazy rabbi killing everyone on Hanukkah? Oh my God, Bolshoi. Hollywood wouldn't allow it. Hollywood would not allow that. You'd probably end up missing. You try to put a movie out like that, Bolshoi. Recently lost 45 pounds. Congratulations. Good, good, good. Hell yeah, I like to see that. Actually look decent, but chest is looking weak considering doing moderately heavy dumbbell warehouse. Well, everyone has body parts that are better, you know, that they're proud of, and everybody has body parts that are weaker, that they're not proud of, unless you're elite level bodybuilder. So, you know, you might need to prioritize some things that you're doing with your chest more. Now, overall, I can tell you this. If you train on a bro split, which is what everybody did for all these years, guys, which is one body part a day, train it hard, right, once a week, get a good amount of volume in. Let's say for a large body part, you're doing anywhere from 12 to 20 working sets, and you're focusing on good form and training where you're failing, at least on your top set, somewhere in a 10 to 12 rep range. That is the most ideal for hypertrophy. That is my suggestion. And I think that if you do that, you'll start to see what you want. Remember, patience is everything in this. Bolshoi Kush, Tektronic, Pump That Jam, or Two Unlimited, No Unlimit. I'm trying to think of Two Unlimited, No Limit. What song that is? Ace of Base or ABBA? Ooh. You know, again, different generations. Dancing Queen. I gotta go Ace of Base, mostly for I Saw the Sign. Iconic for me. I saw the sun, and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sun. Ace of Base had a lot of really good songs. I gotta go Ace of Base. Benny Benassi, Satisfaction, or Call on Me. Definitely, dude, Satisfaction is one of the greatest of all time for me. Melanie's having a good time. Good, good, I'm glad. I would just not watch it. Horses actually do eat humans if given the chance. Wow. How about that? So how well done was this movie, Nathan? You know, on the frequency of training subject, we often get into the mindset that more is better. And that's not the case when it comes to bodybuilding. Now, it can be the case with cardio when you're trying to get calories off, because the more calories you burn, right, the more you're going to drop. But as far as muscle needs that recovery time to grow. But repetition causes adaptation. It's like if you swung a golf club for the first time, you're not going to be good at it. But if you keep doing it every day and learn the fundamentals and do it more and more, you're eventually going to get good at it. What do I think about Daddy Trump having fun and blast with Obama at Jimmy Carter's funeral? Listen, I think that they can have reason to get along. Can't we all just get along? Mary J. Blige, Family Affair, great song. Or TLC Creep, oof. Oof. So I creep, yeah, just keeping on the down low. Nobody else supposed to know. For this particular one, I'm going with TLC. Now, had you hit me with some real love, I would have went with Mary J. Listen, some dude, back in the day, Arnold and those guys were doing chest 3 days a week. Twice a week is plenty. Plenty. I train everything once a week. Now, I do throw in some other stuff. So, even though I have a bicep day on Saturdays, I actually do a little bit of biceps at the end of my chest day on Tuesday, just because that's a area that I think can benefit from a little extra focus. Any ideas to make a training video with the Whack Pack oldies? I would do it. I'd love to do it. Nathan High said, it had a decent budget, so it's all right. I'll have to look for it. I've literally seen all of the good horror movies from last year, or the ones that have gotten acclaim from last year. I've seen every single one of them, with the exception of Terrifier, because the first two were trash. Oddity was a good one. I'm not as into the, slasher for the sake of slashing movies. What are Dave and Greg beefing about? Tanya, good morning. Prestige, 2006 with Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, or The Game, 1997 with Sean Penn and Michael Douglas. So The Game is a good movie. I can't think of what Prestige, tell me what Prestige is with Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman. I'm trying to think of what movie that is. Give me the plot line a little bit. Last of the Mohegans, very good. Or Dancing with Wolves, Kevin Costner, also very good, huh? Whew. Man, that's a tough one. I think Last of the Mohegans, though. Dancing with Wolves is a really good movie, too. The Terrifier movies are for edgelords. They're definitely not for me. Dave was interviewed and said Greg injected synthol in his shoulders. Greg didn't like that. Oh, okay. It was like, it's bodybuilding beef, I see. Gotcha. I'm at 58 minutes and 37 seconds. I'm going to do 60 if we could get one more damn good question in. I hope you guys enjoyed that little recovery video that I put out yesterday. I'm on my Instagram. I'm going to post all the chest stuff that I did today with an exclamation if you guys are curious. Did I see Saw 10? Yes. I love all the Saw movies. Dave was interviewed. Greg. Okay, saw that, read that. Yeah, I enjoyed all the Saw movies. Even had a little Chris Rock action peppered in there. The Saw movies are a lot more creative. And they're just a lot more well done than the Terrifier movies. The Terrifier movies are like B movies. And I get it. I get people like that. But the Saw movies are just well done. They're just filmed well. Saw 11 is supposed to come out in September. I'm pumped. Hell yeah. I'll take all the Saw movies. Kevin actually Dancing with Wolves gave me a second. That's funny. Didn't he win an Academy Award for Dancing with Wolves? Or did he win it for Last of the Mohegans? Those are old movies, man. I gotta refresh my memories on those movies. Those are old movies. Over Goodfellas, Goodfellas is my favorite mob movie of all time. I take Goodfellas over The Godfather, believe it or not. Did I see The Whale with Brandon Fraser? Seems interesting. So, I've looked at it a bunch of times, and I haven't made the choice to do it. My mom, who is totally crazy, says it's an amazing movie. Marissa said it was like a depressing movie. She watched it while I was in prison. Blink 182 or Bloodhound Gang? Definitely Blink 182 overall, but I do like You and Me, Baby Ain't Nothing But Bambles, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Get the papers, get the papers. Give me 2 times. I've been on the 2010 comedy rewatch run lately. They don't make comedians like that anymore. No, they don't. I really enjoy, so the old, for me, I could go back far. The old, like Eddie Murphy, Delirious, and Raw, those are really good. But I like the old Cat Williams, the old Dave Chappelle's. Those were really good. Those are really, really good. Pineapple Express was a decent movie, absolutely. Sum 41 or The Offspring. Sum 41 had a couple good songs. Offspring had a couple good songs. You Gotta Keep Them Separated was a good one. What else did they have that was good? And it feels like heaven so far away. That was an Offspring song. That one's pretty good. I'll go Offspring. The Bad Touch, that's my favorite piano bar song. Sweet Baby Sweet. Sweat Baby Sweat. Got it. Yes, the Bloodhound Gang. Yeah, that was a good song. Comedies. Got you. Well, you're right. They don't make them like that anymore either. That was just a great era. I agree, Nathan. I agree with the Dave Chappelle. Wood by AIC or Jeremy, Pearl Jam. Overall, I was more of an Alice in Chains fan. I think that Jeremy was a truly iconic song, though. Both great bands, great grunge rock bands. Jeremy, in this particular case, I'm going with Jeremy. Wood is a great song. I like some of their slower songs. I like No Excuses a lot. That's probably my favorite Alice in Chains song. But in this particular case, I'm going with Jeremy. Thank you, Kevin Jones. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys doing this with me today. We did a good hour in here. I saw Alice in Chains live twice, but I've never seen them, obviously, with Lane because he died before I got a chance to see them. So I saw them with Jerry Cantrell as the singer, and I've seen them with the singer they have now, probably on that same tour that you saw with Korn, because I saw them with Korn also. And they were very good. Yeah, they were very good. You remember when the guy who was the baby on Nirvana cover tried suing them? No, I don't remember that. That's crazy. Do I think eye masks work for eye bags? I think they can. I have this stuff that I use called, it's this caffeine eye cream. I don't have it on now. When I wake up in the morning, I just throw on my shit and I go. But after I shower and I go about my business for the day, I put it on and it tightens it right up. It's a great thing. Marissa got me into it years ago. I had no idea about that. That's crazy. With the baby. Yeah, very sad when Lane died. He was only like 25 years old. Heroin, man. They found him dead in his apartment after like being there for a while. Very sad. The coaching thing. So I keep saying I'm going to come back to this. It's just a matter of what I can and cannot do. But it may happen again soon, guys. It may happen again soon. But I appreciate you guys doing this. Has Jane or Jason ever bagged my groceries? No, but my grandparents have seen both of them all the time over there. All right, guys. I'm going to roll up out of here. Thank you for doing this for me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Peace out, guys.